Another way that we can take advantage of text favorites in MicroStation and Civil is using the Civil Labeling tool. The Civil Labeling tool allows us to place labels that are comprised of both automated and static text. For example, if I want to go label the beginning of my project, I can select that entry in the Civil Label tool, select place, and follow the instructions on the screen to place that particular label. And that label, as you'll see here, computed the beginning station text value. The way that that works is under the label definitions in Explorer, we can right click and manage, and we have an option here to select our text favorite. And so we've picked a text favorite here for the Civil Label Plan Begin project, and that then allows us to compute that information. And so we'll be talking more about Civil Labeler later, but that is another way that we can use text favorites. And just to go over a couple more pointers for text favorites before we move on, if we go back to our text favorite manager and take a look here at a couple things. One is you have the ability when you pick your particular property, for example, this plan annotation point station, to turn on the save preview option. And so when I do that, you'll see that it makes that field a lot smaller. When you're using your Civil Labeler, the size of that bubble or that rectangle is going to be adjustable, but the dimension arrowhead will get affected by the width of that bubble, and that bubble is determined as part of these properties that are shown. So I do recommend using this Save Preview option after you select your property fields. Another thing to point out is you can use folders in your text favorite manager, and those folders then can be selected when you're assigning a text favorite with your Civil Labeler features, or also for example, in your annotation definitions, when you're picking text favorites, these folders will get understood or recognized. So don't be afraid to organize these in a reasonable fashion. The last point here is, although we do have the option here to pick a text style, don't be afraid to whiten out this dialog. You don't necessarily have to put text styles into your text favorites. You can just manually pick the font, the size, and set your justification. A lot of times we will see agencies develop a whole bunch of text styles just to get all the different justifications. Well, instead, they could just not assign a text style to their text favorites used and just assign the justifications within the favorites themselves, and that really cuts down on how many text styles that you would require in your workspace. So just a few more tips there that you may find useful when doing your text favorite development.